I spent a lot of time reading and rereading articles about blockchain, and I decided it was finally time to understand it. And I think I understand about 40%, which is a lot better than I was doing before. But try to give us sort of, for I think a lot of people here are probably like me, give us a sense of how it works and how do you make money off of it?
Sure. So the first thing I would say is a lot of times people hear blockchain and they hear cryptocurrency. And they're related, but they're different things. So blockchain is the underlying technology that powers cryptocurrency. Now, regardless of what your views are on cryptocurrency, the reality is that blockchain technology can be a tool for addressing real life sort of like problems, especially in areas like financial services. Blockchain itself is actually a combination of technologies that have been in existence for a very long period of time. On the one side, something called distributed ledger technology, which I'll explain in a moment, and on the other, cryptography, which is basically sort of codes, effectively, for encrypting sort of data. And so it's this combination of these sort of two tools that enables a few things. The first is it enables much greater security. You don't have a reliance upon a single trusted authority, a credit bureau, for what is truth. For instance, you can have a whole series of decentralized nodes. Those nodes could be different financial institutions or insurance companies or brokerages or social media companies that have touched each of us. And so as a result, they can come together and establish in consensus what truth is. And so that's the notion of sort of distributed ledger technology. And on cryptography, it's really about just security. Right? It's about, whether it's symmetric or asymmetric cryptography, it's about security. And so when we think about our business model, we're simply using blockchain as a tool. It's not sort of a marketing gimmick, it's the intel inside. And really what we're using it for is to create a network that allows institutions, such as financial institutions, to exchange information directly in a way that, as I mentioned, is more secure, is regulatorily compliant, as well as addresses competitive sensitivity. And the output of that, we hope, is that it leads to much greater security, much greater accuracy, and much greater transparency. And the types of applications that could be built upon this network, right? What are the products, right? There are things that could lead to much more robust identity verification, much better fraud prevention, especially newer, more pernicious forms of fraud, like synthetic identity fraud that people may not have heard of, but it's something that's growing very quickly. And so we think there are a whole slew of applications that can be built on it, including, by the way, alternate credit bureaus that have all new inputs to address issues of access, like the one we were chatting about before. So our business is about creating the rails of this network, and then allowing ourselves. We're going to build some of these applications or products, which will be launched early in 2019, but also will enable others over time once we make our public launch next year to actually build applications in their own markets or in their own verticals or industries.
And after you launch, how long do you think it's going to take to get to be profitable?
Great question. So we intend to launch our first products during early 2019, probably the first half of 2019.
You're busy right now.
Yeah, we're very busy. And the first two products are really going to relate to fraud prevention and identity verification. And the reason for that is we have a chicken and egg problem. Right? We need to develop scale technology and then drive adoption, and that's not an easy thing when you're developing a network. And so we need to focus on products where we can do things that are much better than the existing offerings in the market today. And so in those areas, we think we can develop products that are vastly better than what's out there, and we can do so with market participants that we have already identified that have clearly identifiable vexing economic problems, and we've already contracted with a number of those large, actual lenders who are going to be the users of these initial sort of products effectively.